straight.
3, 2. What's up, everybody?
Hey, we biting.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
Another episode of For the Culture podcast.
For the culture.
Yeah.
And it's your boy Cass on the mic. I'm with
Colgate.
J Switay.
And Allen Iverson. Nah, DC104, man. AI my favorite ball
We do
player,
gotta have
man.
AI
That's
on
all.
the podcast.
Yeah,
That'd be
man.
legendary.
Nice.
It is. I
For
manifest it right now. We're gonna have AI.
Yes,
I
sir.
used to be so much funnier. Life whooped my ass. I just wake up every day like, God.
Colgate's like, damn, I would have said some shit like that.
I know. I was listening to DJ. I was like, God damn it! I remember I was funnier than this guy. What the fuck is going on here?
Well, shit, guys. Welcome to episode 3 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, another day.
Return
Yes,
of
sir.
the, was it Return of the Sith? Episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith. Revenge
Star
of the
Wars,
Sith.
Joe. Forget it.
Yeah.
It didn't land. What I tell
He's
you.
like, this is what I mean.
This is what I'm talking about.
No, I thought it was just a question. I was thinking, like, which one was it?
It's like, damn, that's right. That's
So
a good
today,
question.
we got J Switay.
J Switay.
Ricka.
Thank you. Hold
You know
the
what I'm
applause
saying?
till after the podcast,
The
please.
boss.
Thank you.
Hey, can we start off by saying that's what a hard what that it's a moment. What does that
that
mean?
song
Right?
I played for you?
Yes,
That's
sir.
this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the cover art, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna we'll put it up on the screen for you guys when you're watching it. We'll get it dubbed in there.
And are you the links for these hoodies are also gonna be you're making you got like gonna Shopify going
Yeah, I'm gonna
on or-
Shopify. These are the prototypes, so I'm just
just to
seeing how
get
they
people
look,
like
yeah.
knowing like this is
Yeah.
coming. This
Hope
is
so.
coming.
When I put this song out, these should be available.
Right.
So,
Facts.
yeah.
Okay.
So real fast before we get into it, everybody run down what's out right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, I'm on the side of the table.
Yeah,
So,
you start.
Cat's Pajamas, 3-song EP, should be out by now. I got Nights in Atlanta, performance visual, out now. I got Sinatra, music video, out now. I got Nowhere Fast, out right now. Boom, that's me. Tons of it. It's out everywhere.
Tap the fuck in.
YouTube.com. Colgate 770, you know the drill.
Tap. in.
Boom.
DZ,
Who's
let
next?
the
DZ.
people know what's up.
Yeah.
What's up, Deez? What you
hey.
got going on?
Demon Time out right now. Every song on there hard. You're not gonna skip nothing. Everything easy now.
Everything
No
easy.
ordinary. Pray for the trap.
Yes,
and
sir.
something off of Demon Time that should be out by now is Trap Bleed.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, make
Man,
the
that
trap
whole
bleed. How
album
we
is
beat
crazy.
it up. Ooh, made the beat. Ooh, yeah. Y'all tap in, man. Yeah, follow me everywhere.
Click that
Yes,
shit.
sir.
Right now, if
Cass.
you haven't listened, because we're doing the episode today is with J Switay, you know. So if you haven't listened to Listen Here, Summer's Over, for sure. That shit we dropped last year.
And that's you two
Fire.
on both of those,
And
right?
that's me
Collabos.
and Joe collab, and that's Joe on the production and
Oh, he made the
mixing and
beats and stuff?
mastering.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
killed that shit. If you haven't seen the video, YouTube, shot by Corey Blaze. Fire
Corey's
camera,
fire.
man.
Shout
We're
out
gonna
Corey,
have him
yeah.
on the podcast.
Yep.
Your Way, produced by Daraj Global, out now. She was Zeno Carr, produced by Zeno Carr off his album It's Not You, It's Me, out now. Go tap in. Climate is about to drop. You know what I'm saying? Y'all haven't heard that shit yet, but I'm going to show y'all some snippets, so stay the fuck tuned. You know, but I'm not going to give y'all too much. So our guest today, everybody. Ooh.
Yes, sir.
The legendary J Switay, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. everybody.
Another For the Culture OG. If y'all haven't noticed by now, these first couple episodes are the hosts. We're interviewing
The origin stories.
the origin stories of each of us. So
Yeah.
after these 4, we're gonna bring in some more special people, man. Y'all gonna be super excited. But for right now, my brother J Switay, how you feeling?
Disclaimer
Great.
before you even
What?
go, I gotta say this about Joe. Joe is possibly the hardest, most talented person sitting at this table.
No cow.
This guy has been playing piano for over 20 years. He's a producer. He can record. He can engineer. He does this amazing thing with his piano and his vocals we'll get into.
Bro,
this
that was
dude
crazy. That's
is
crazy.
he's so humble, but he's so fire.
I might pull up in a phantom.
Man, I'm talking about if you haven't heard J Switay's music, you are seriously fucking up. This
Well,
guy is
I will
super
say-
hard.
I will say I'm humble, but at the same time, I'm trying to not be humble.
You smoke a
anymore,
lot of people in the
'cause,
music
like,
game. That's what I'm
you
trying to
know,
say.
Being humble won't really get you anywhere.
And no, and
Facts.
see, the thing is, though, I feel like in a way, it's such like you being yourself. That's like something you don't want to kind of not change. Like I see what you're saying. Like you're trying to fix that. Like, but it's nothing like necessarily you need to, because that's like a part of your whole persona.
Yeah.
You know?
You're so
like,
confident that you don't feel the need to compete with people, because you know you be smoking motherfuckers on the track.
I just like to play music and stuff.
Yeah, you're more
like,
about the art. It's like, you know,
even
it's
when we did that video with me, you, and him, what was the
on
song
3P.
called?
We have an album
right
together,
now,
3P.
Right now, you in the video, if you look at the video, you just so cool on that bitch. You like,
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was showing some people that video the other day.
That's a hard video.
cool.
That's a
Like,
hard
I'm like,
video.
yeah, bro, cool.
We'll flash it up here for a second so
When
you
we
can
be
check it
doing
out.
like you straight to the point, like I'm like, that's it. You like, yeah. Then you just walk off. Like,
I did
J
what I had
Switay,
to
that's
do.
Joe.
I don't like to be the center of attention, really. Like I was playing beats at this thing I did like a month ago, and you know, they're like, well, you missed, you know, like because I came late, and they were like, well, tell us about yourself, and I hate that, you know, and so I just said like,
My name's
3
Joe.
sentences, and I was like, just play.
You
the
should
music.
know me.
Just play the music. I can't say much. Just play my songs,
sure.
like, you know. So
No, I just hate, like, when we come here and we do this, we all, like, show each other our records and stuff, and I'll be like, yeah, guys, check this out. I just did this. What do you think of this? And they're like, yeah, this is cool. And then it's Joe's turn, and I'm like, well, fuck.
3 seconds into the song, you like,
Oh, God.
Facts, and it's like the fact that you produced it and you're on it. It's just like
And
a
recorded it.
that's why
And
I'm
mixed
every
it.
time I come like, you made that beat. You like, yeah, like,
double. Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna start getting on other people's beats, but like, I just like being able to really.
But why?
In
I
a
was
way,
about to
yeah.
say that.
Articulate.
Why?
But I see what you're saying. You kind of want to like
Get outside the box.
Yeah.
Test 1 2.
diversify. Like you never know when somebody's gonna make something for you, and it kind of brings another side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
But
can I-
oh my bad, DZ. What are you
I
gonna
was
say?
thinking, can I start off with the first question?
Let's
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bro,
Beginning, middle, end. Deal here.
how long does it take you to make a beat, and where did you grow up? Where are you
Okay.
from?
Okay. Making a beat, it just depends, you know. Like I've made beats in 10 minutes before. I've made beats in 30 minutes. I've taken months to finish a beat before. You know, it just depends.
What headspace you're in?
Yeah, it depends on what type of beat I'm going for.
His beat's so crazy.
You know, and I have a bad habit of like, if I don't like the beat, I'll just delete it. Like I'll delete everything in the beat, but I'll keep the instruments, and I'll just restart if I like the instruments, you know. And I'm like, because I know that beat's, even if it's cool, if I don't think it's going anywhere, I'll just delete it, you know, and I'll restart. Yeah,
J
I don't care.
Switay sells beats too, by the way.
Yeah.
For those who
I
don't
should
know.
probably stop doing that. That's not a good thing that I do that, but I do that. Like,
Hey,
it's a bad habit, but I do it.
Cause see, like sometimes you're harder on yourself than other people, and you're just like, you don't see how hard something is
There's
actually.
been so many times we've had a session. I'll be like, I mean, this one's not done.
And I'm just like,
You're
what?
like,
You're like
the
a
hell else are you gonna
perfectionist, bro.
add?
He
But-
said that around me before. I was like, got here, but this shit hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Man. Tripping, bro.
Like disgustingly hard, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know.
All right, we get it. We get
No,
it.
they
But-
don't, because most of you probably haven't listened. To
No, they'll
anything
get
he's-
it. They'll
Yeah.
understand soon enough.
Unless
for
they're
sure.
J Switay fans that have come here for
Yeah.
that. Because he's got a lot. This guy's got more streams than anybody
Oh
else
yeah,
at the
yeah,
table.
we're going crazy.
Over 500,000 on just one song alone.
We'll get into that for sure.
Yeah.
Facts.
But let's take it back to the origin story real quick.
Yeah, where you
so
from?
I-
Where you
yeah.
from?
Let's take it back
So-
to like what inspired, what created, like
Well, so DZ asked where I was from. I'll just say that first. I'm from Conyers, Georgia.
Conyers.
Like 20, 30 minutes east of Atlanta. Yeah. Applause for Conyers. Conyers secretly has a lot of great people that come from it.
No,
Sure.
facts.
I
There's a
stayed
lot
in
of
Conyers
real.
before.
And it was a great place to grow up. It's getting a lot more populated now. I don't live there anymore, but like it was a really good childhood for me to live there because I feel like I saw a lot of different things. You know, like there's a little bit of everything.
For sure.
Like it wasn't a bad place.
and I
but
feel like
there's,
at the time
know,
you growing up, it was such a like more country part, so you had that space to grow
There
up.
was,
I'm
like-
sure you were outside most of the time, just like really enjoying like being a
playing
kid.
Sports. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
like, I played music. Some of my first memories of even being alive, my grandmother got me this little tiny toy keyboard, you know, like that big, and just me
Just cut
even
it
just
down.
remembering my first memories was me just messing around on that keyboard just for hours and hours. And when I was like 6 years old, like I had that keyboard, it broke after like a year or two, and my parents were like, and I freaked out. And my parents were like, we got to get him the same keyboard again. Like he needs
gonna
his
lose
keyboard,
it.
you know. And so I got the same one again, and it was a cheap keyboard, like real toy keyboard. But my parents saw that and they were like, let's put him in piano lessons. So I started taking piano lessons at like 6.
So you would say, you know, that keyboard was like the seed.
That was
like,
everything. That
that it
keyboard. I
was-
still have it.
Oh, that's
Like,
awesome.
That's fire.
Yeah, I still have
That
it.
needs to be on an
And
album cover.
you said you got that for your birthday or
I got it before I even remember anything.
Oh, so
Like,
it was
first-
just a
Probably
present
like a
that
birth
your-
gift or
yeah,
something.
like,
wow.
probably like a
Congratulations.
third,
Your
3-year-old.
grandma already knew.
Well,
She-
my like great grandmother played the piano.
Okay.
And people have told me how she used to be a really good piano player, but like no one else in my family really, besides my uncle. He plays guitar. He's really good at guitar, but he lives in like Hawaii, and I don't
Wow.
ever see him. I'll see him every
Sounded
once in a while.
that sounded real cryptic. I don't ever see.
Well, I mean, you know, like it's cool that I have a family member that is into music, you
Yeah.
know, but like
For
I don't
sure.
really ever see him. We'll chat, you know, we'll talk about music and stuff, but growing up, you know, I didn't really talk to him that much.
That's
And,
interesting though, because it's like she already had that feeling that it's like
Yeah.
he's gonna do this. You
I
know?
mean, you know, and I realize that too.
Definitely.
Like, if you give a kid something and you treat it like a toy, they're gonna play with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Right.
I treated it like a toy. Like it
And
wasn't
then
like I'm gonna play the piano.
yeah, you didn't even know what the heck it was.
I just when I was a kid, I liked creating things. I used to get paper plates, and I would just like glue shit to the paper plate, like the
That's
toilet
fine.
paper, like
Yeah.
cardboard things, or you know, the circle things.
Yeah.
I'd just glue a bunch of those and get like, you know, glitter and dump it on there.
Just
and
make something.
Just make like this weird looking
Imagination.
thing.
at its
Yeah,
finest.
yeah.
And
That's awesome.
It was just
So-
like creating. That's what I like. The idea of just creating something that wasn't there. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
So then your parents get you this piano, right?
Yeah.
You start what? You go to classes. It's more like you keep messing around, and you're like, I want to learn the keyboard
It's-
completely.
I mean, like, honestly, it was just something that I kind of felt like not even that I really wanted to do, but I felt like I needed to do for some.
Gravitated toward
Yeah,
it.
I mean, like, because, you know,
Destiny.
a lot of kids, their parents will put them in piano lessons, you know, and like a lot of my friends were in piano lessons, but they were in for like a year, you know, and they didn't care that they stopped playing piano.
Right.
But like, for some reason, I wanted to keep going. Not that I wanted to keep going, because there were a lot of times I didn't want to go to piano. I didn't practice. I didn't play that much.
But you always saw yourself going back.
I just wanted to be the best at everything I did.
Right,
and
for
I didn't
sure.
like to quit. So I was like, I'm not going to stop playing the piano.
I'm the
Like,
same way.
You know what I mean? Like, and once I got sort of good, then it was like, okay, like, I'm going to try and be the best person at the piano that I know.
I think you had a knack for it too. I mean,
Well, and
clearly you're great at it.
I just did other things too. Like, I played a lot of sports and stuff. And
You were
like,
playing soccer, right? Like that was your main sport.
Soccer. Love soccer. I mean, I played just about every sport, like baseball and football, soccer. I wrestled a lot, but like I just wanted to be the best. Even in school, like I wanted to be the smart kid. You know, I wanted to be Joe's smart.
I knew you was a motherfucking
Yeah.
wrestler before. I said Joe looked like he'll body slam the shit out of somebody.
He did say that to me one time, like
You was
back
a
in the
motherfucking
day too.
wrestler, bro.
That's funny because that he do got that
'Cause
like.
you can,
vibe.
yeah, like don't get my time right. I will boom your last boy back your motherfucking.
He looks like he
ass
could
up,
put
boy.
somebody down.
I could.
It's like,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
that's
Don't
what I
worry.
do.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're learning the piano, right?
Learning
Something
piano.
you're gravitated to.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get from all right, I'm learning the piano to now I want to make music or I want to produce? Tell us that?
What's the transition?
So when I was in like 4th grade, we went and house sat for my mom's friend. They were going out of town, so we went to their house. And it was kind of like a vacation for us because it was in California. And they had a real nice house. They had a lot of dogs, so we were like dog sitting and all this stuff. Exactly. And so we were there for like 4 or 5 days just house sitting. And they had a computer, and we got on it, and it had GarageBand. It was a Mac computer. And this was back before the App Store, so like it came on the computer.
Yeah.
And so me and my brother saw this guitar icon, you know, down. What's that? And we just click on it, and it was GarageBand, you know, make music, whatever. And so we just started like pulling in loops. We weren't like making beats. We were just pulling in like a drum loop, pulling in a guitar loop, and just like it probably sounded like Throw Up with a million instruments in there, but it was just cool because it was like.
You were creating.
Yeah, it was like, damn,
shit.
And some of the loops on the original GarageBand
Were
are
fire.
fire,
Right,
dude.
right.
Like, Like they were used, the whole entire "Love in This Club" song by Usher. That whole song is in GarageBand, and I remember finding it and being like, "This is that Usher song that's on the radio right now. This is all in GarageBand."
People slept on that.
Yeah, that was a huge one.
Yeah,
You remember Swagger Like Us with Wayne and
Yeah.
T.I.
Yeah,
and Kanye?
yeah.
Wayne
Classic.
cut his verse
And Jay-Z.
on GarageBand on a laptop in Amsterdam. If you go watch the Carter documentary, it's on YouTube, super
What?
fire documentary. But yeah, he cut his verse just smoking a big L in Amsterdam in the middle of the hotel room. Like,
That's hard.
no one on the corner got
That's
swagger
right.
like ma. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
GarageBand, definitely.
GarageBand. So GarageBand, and that was in like 4th grade, but we didn't have GarageBand at our house. So, I
So
went back,
that experience birthed
Yeah.
producing in like
yeah, it did. It did because a year or two later, we wound up getting a Mac computer when I was in like 5th or 6th grade as like the family computer. And I was like, it's got to have GarageBand. I made my parents get like you could buy like expansion packs for like $30.
Yeah.
I was like, I need at least one expansion pack so I can have more sounds.
The
and
Rumble
more,
pack.
You know, like, and I was like, please. And so I spent a lot of time. And at that time, like video games were a lot of fun. But once I started doing that, it was kind of like video games.
it wasn't as interesting.
Yeah, it was like I played video games with friends, but beats, I didn't even think of it as making beats. I was just making music.
Yeah.
And I was like, that to me felt like video games and was more rewarding. So I kind of transitioned into doing that in my free time.
And in that moment, who are you listening to that makes you be like?
Honestly, I
wanna-
wasn't even listening to rap at that time.
Okay.
I was. Whatever was on the radio on like 95.5 The Beat, I'd listen to. But not a
The
lot.
Shout out
Beat.
95.5 The Beat.
Miss
man.
the beat, man.
Throwback.
But
I don't know nothing about that Tampa.
Hey, but we had a 95.7 to be.
Right, that's close to
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, it was.
Catch up Zoom.
They
we
had a
get
version.
3.
Okay. But like, and even half the songs, I was like, I didn't even like because they just sounded weird to me. But like a lot of classic rock when I was growing up, like I remember hearing Pink Floyd, like Dark Side of the Moon,
Same, yeah.
and just being like, because that's what the type of music my dad would listen to, you know, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Pink Floyd,
Fire.
bands like that.
All fire.
And I just remember hearing, I can't remember what song it was, but it was off Dark Side of the Moon, and just being like, it just felt like it was in outer space, you know what I mean? And I was just
I see the Pink Floyd
like, that was just
Inspiration.
inspiration
Yeah.
big time. Yeah, actually.
And so, like, you know, just having a feeling that, like, that song brought out, you know, everything just kind of mixed together, you know, the listening to music that I liked, playing the piano, the making the
Right.
beats, and it just kind of mixed together. And then in, like, 6th grade, maybe 7th grade, one of my friends, good friend Jeffrey Caramel Steez.
Shout out Jeffrey, man.
Yeah, he was like,
Oh, Jeff.
yeah, he was.
No, not that Jeff.
No,
Nah.
different Jeff?
Yeah, different.
No,
Okay.
different Jeffrey. I don't think any of
Well,
them.
shout out to both
No,
the
he's
Jeffs.
cool. He's cool.
Jeffy.
He was like, because he saw, like, we would hang out and I, you know, would show him my beats and stuff, and he'd be like, "You got all these beats." He's like, "Do you ever rap on these?" And I was like, "No."
You're like,
He
I
was
didn't
like,
even
"Let's
think-
rap on these beats," and I was like, "All right." And so we started recording like on the actual computer, like the Mac microphone from the webcam. We would just play the beat out loud and just rap into the webcam mic, and then
Okay.
record
In there.
that into GarageBand. And like we made a lot of songs, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't know, not like hundreds, but we probably made like 10 songs doing that.
Do you remember what any of those songs sounded like?
Oh, I remember what every song sounded like. One of them, I pitched our voice up real high, and we sounded like chipmunks.
So
One
that
of
was
them-
like early
yeah.
phase of now I am producing, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
he's like, let's rap. Why haven't you rapped on these,
Yeah,
right?
and
so
yeah.
this introduces you to like now the engineering, like, oh, okay,
No.
like, no,
No.
you don't. You're just like recording.
No,
You're
I'm
not
just
even thinking
recording.
about like.
think-
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, if you don't start off as an engineer, I think it just comes with it. Like, just next thing you know,
Yeah.
you like, man, I'm about to record myself.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where you have to be able to like really
dive in and
dive
make-
in the
cook.
sound of your music.
I mean, honestly,
eventually.
like-
unless you got somebody
Or
right
you think
there.
to
Yeah.
yourself, like, why don't I know this yet? You know?
Yeah, well,
I should know this.
it comes with like listening, and then you start saying like, you know, it should sound like this or something like that. It should
Right.
sound a little bit whatever.
Because a lot of it is just opinionated, right? It's not like they're wrong or you're right or whatever.
Exactly.
It's just a preference. Like, I'd
Exactly.
rather it sound like this. So you got to know how to do it.
I didn't really get into mixing until like college.
Okay, when you went to
It was a long time until I was like knowing exactly what a compressor was.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, he raw with mixing. You need your songs mixed.
yeah.
Boom.
One stop
Need a-
shop, like Colgate
need a
said.
beat, need mixing, production. This
Yes,
guy,
sir.
Yeah.
beyond belief fire.
Yes,
Crazy.
sir.
And they are for sale
Yeah.
right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you cooking up beats. Your boys like, let's rap on these
Yeah.
beats, right?
Yeah.
Y'all make these songs.
Yeah.
Now, where do you go from there? What takes you from like, all right, this is fun, I'm doing this, and then it's like, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah, when are you recording stuff that you're like dropping or attempting to drop, like show people, not like, oh, I'm in the basement.
Well,
like
so
you're like, hey,
it's
look.
funny that y'all said, oh yeah, in 09 I was selling CDs. I did the same thing. In 2009, I was in 9th grade. And I remember, and I remember like being like, just like, I've got all these songs that me and my friend recorded, and I started recording on my own because it just was fun. And so I made a mixtape, and I sold it at my school. But I was selling, what was I doing? I think it was like $10 a CD. And then $5 was like the friend price.
He's like, damn, yeah.
He said $3.
Real.
You were selling them for $3.
$3 and $5 and $7.
CDs were
DZ like,
expensive.
I was
They
selling
were,
my
they
shit
were.
for $1,000. I'm like, damn.
He's like, what you got in your pocket, bro? Give it
You got your pie on you?
Hey, but it shows you though. It shows you what type of hustle. You know what I'm saying? You were like, man, I'm just trying to get y'all to get this shit.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's still like, it's funny to see everybody's like experience with that. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in 9th grade. You made this mixtape.
And I mean, I remember making, and it wasn't about the money because like I was in 9th grade. It's not like I needed like money. I was just doing it because it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
And some of the songs I made were like about school, you know.
So
like,
people were like, oh, this
yeah,
is
like one of the
Shit, I
songs
wanted the
remember-
money. I was like, I need the money. Let me just get it.
Yeah.
Get it. Owe me? No. Give me my money.
Well, no one was getting a CD without paying me. Like I was still a
So here
businessman.
he
I wasn't
goes.
giving them out, but like I wasn't like, man, I've got to make $1,000.
Nah, right,
I was-
for real though.
And it was a small school too. Like, you know, it wasn't like I was gonna make.
So
that much
songs
money.
about school. What were you like,
Yeah.
Miss Helen?
No,
I,
I
see
went-
the mole on your face. Like,
No, I remember like I had the whole day. Like I literally wrote a song about the entire day. Like wake up at 6, here my day begins. I don't remember what I say after that, but like it was in like a Rooster Crows, like at the very beginning.
Right.
I talked about
Fire.
getting in the shower, and then I was like, all right. And then I go to math classes. I think my first class, and I talk about math class, and I literally go through the whole day in that song. But it was, I think the mixtape was like 8 songs. So, and I remember people were like people liked it.
What was the name of it?
I
he
didn't
kno-
have a name. I
He
don't think it had a
remembers.
name.
He is
No,
lying.
No, it didn't have a name.
He's
Because it was just a blank CD, and my name then was like the Maverick. And I was like,
the Maverick.
So-
okay.
So it was called the Maverick then. Hey,
yeah, I just wrote the Maverick on
hang
there.
on.
Like, that's
Heat.
what that was.
All right.
All right.
We are
technical difficulties again.
back. It's all right. We figured
Yeah,
it out. We
Memory
figured it out.
cards, lights, power. You know the drill.
Yeah, but I
Where
think I
were
was
we?
talking
Get
about
back into
my.
it.
I was talking about my mixtape in high school. Don't worry about it. It wasn't that great, but people liked it.
It was
'cause
great for the
relatable.
time,
Yeah, it was
you
good
know?
for the time, but not right
Facts.
now.
Yes.
All right, bet. So another like dope thing that I feel like separates you two from everybody else is, you know, what you got going on with the piano, man.
Piano.
Can you explain a little bit about that?
And
like-
also who you listen to at the current moment.
So if you
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
paid attention to anything else, this is like the thing that sets him apart. So really pay
All
attention.
right. Well,
to this.
it's
It's fire.
it's-
Don't let him undersell it. Don't let him undersell
well,
it.
like the piano in general. Like at this point, I was starting to like really actually practice the piano now. I've spent a lot of time years playing the piano, but not really practicing it. Just like kind of going through the motions.
Mhm.
Now I started to actually get into it, practice a bit more. I was now listening to a lot of rap music. Like I discovered Wayne.
Yeah,
that
facts.
was a couple years before this, but I was listening to a lot of Wayne, a lot of Biggie. That was like Wayne and Biggie, and then you know, just whatever was kind of on the radio at the time too. And I started to get in and understand rap a little bit more because I was rapping myself.
Right.
And so I was a lot more into it, but I still was doing all of this as fun. Like it was all just fun. It was another thing that I was doing. I really thought I was about to be a professional soccer player more than anything.
Yeah, you were nice.
Yeah, but
So
so
I've heard.
like through high school, I was just messing around with it. I did a couple shows in Atlanta, but it was weird because my parents had to drive me because I couldn't drive. I wasn't like old enough, and so like my whole family would go to the shows, and there was only like 2 of them. But like one of them was really strange because like my grandmother went. We're like we're off like
Shout out,
Moreland at the Red Light Cafe, I think it was
Dope.
called. I can't remember. And like my grandmother was there, and it was a rap show, and it was like it's not really the type of thing your grandmother comes to.
Yes.
But no, like I was just doing it all in fun. It wasn't until I got to college that was like that was when it was like
Green means go.
yeah, I realized I could do this for real. And it was because I went to school, like I went to Georgia State, and I was gonna be a doctor. My first year, I was like a neuroscience major. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of money.
Never knew
But
that.
then I realized I was like, nah, I'm gonna be in school for like 10 years, and I'm gonna be in debt and like all this stuff, and it's gonna take me a long time to make that money back. And school sucks in general. So I was like, I've been playing piano my whole life and making beats. Like I'm just gonna be a music major.
Right.
So I switched it to music, and then like just that's when I really started learning like the engineering side.
Right.
I was like,
Okay.
like that was when I started understanding how an EQ can really just make a big difference, even a small thing.
For sure.
That was when I started to get into that. That's when we met and we started.
Yeah, that's
recording.
about to say. That's around
So
the time.
how did you
we met.
become the piano man? Because they don't understand what I mean when I say that. You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
The special deschel.
so I mean, I never really liked my voice that much, and I think a
Got a
lot of
great
people.
voice.
Well, I think a lot of people go through that when they're recording you, and you're like, "Hey, I sound like that."
Right. You
Really?
gotta find yourself.
Yeah, and so like I got this thing years ago. I mean, I got it a long time ago, and it's just like vocal trans. It's the Roland VT3, I think it was. I upgraded and got the VT4, but it's like you can make your voice sound like a robot, whatever. It's got auto tune built in, but the auto tune doesn't really. It's not that good. I mean, it's alright, but you can play your voice. It's kind of like a vocoder, but it's not. It sounds like auto tune, so I can just play a note on the keyboard and sing, and it'll just play that note,
Yes,
whatever
sir.
that note is.
You're a fool
Like
with it.
the way I understand it is it takes the sound of your voice, so you record your voice in, and then it plays your voice in that exact note on the piano.
Yeah.
So like if it's E flat and you hit it, it's perfectly in tune, but it's your voice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
since
yeah.
you're such a beast, you can just like it's crazy.
I
It's
mean-
like California Love and
Right.
Travis Scott
Yeah,
had a
it's
baby.
Like, it's like my version of auto tune because I mean everybody uses auto tune, but like me, it's like my version of auto tune because I can say I know this is the one I want. This is the note I want to sing. So I can play
Can we
that.
show him a clip? I'm gonna put a clip right here.
Put a clip.
Yeah.
There's like a 5-second clip of just some of his voice doing this.
Like auto tune on crack.
Yes. So I'll leave that here for a second. Yeah, super cool. Check that out.
I don't, so and then in college was when I started like interning at studios.
Yeah.
I interned at a lot of studios, like 3 separate studios. I interned
Where at?
I interned at Mean Street Studios for like 2.5 years. So like when you were
Legendary.
talking about Gangsta Grills and
Yeah.
Drama
We were recording
and
a
Wayne.
lot there.
Yeah, I mean like
Spent hours there.
I saw an opportunity like to intern there, and I was like, this is like DJ Drama, and like this
Yeah.
is the dude that like I
Right.
listened to in middle and high school. Like I'm gonna go work for him, even if it's
Right.
working for free.
Right.
I didn't
You have
care.
access to rooms.
You need people,
DJ
whatever.
Drama. Shout out DJ Drama.
Yeah, shout out to
Shout out
him.
Drama for
At
sure.
Put
that
him on the
time-
podcast.
At that time, that
Gotcha.
was when Lil Uzi was like,
Going crazy.
he wasn't going crazy yet when I started because Money Longer hadn't dropped yet, and I didn't even know who he was until I got there. You know, like that's when I kind of discovered him. Money Longer dropped about 6 months after I started like interning there, and it was like
oh
generation
shit.
now.
Part
It
of
was
that
like, yeah,
process.
and then I saw Jack Harlow. I met Jack Harlow.
Hey.
before
I
he was
bumped into
anybody.
Jack back in the day too. I got a funny story for
Yeah,
that
me
another
too.
day
Yeah.
though.
A3C,
Because I know our
yeah,
producers
A3C.
are telling us we're gonna have to
Shout
wrap
out
here
to
in
Jack.
just a second.
Shout out to Jack. He
Yeah.
went through Streets 94.5 the dungeon with Rory them too. Right after or before me. Shout out Amaretta. She was in there too. Like that's why I'm like, man,
They
that's
both
big to
spit.
me because
Let's
I
go.
went in the dungeon where they went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now they two of the.
Yes,
the-
I mean that's how you
yeah.
know, like when you're around people like that, you know. In
We
similar
up next.
situations.
That's what
Yes,
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
We up now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
up.
Yeah,
We up. It's up.
And we now. Was there anything else you want to tell the people, Joe? You know, before we wrap it up here, inspirationally, or anything you want to let them know you got coming?
I've got a lot of music coming because like
All classics.
I realized for a long time I was trying to make beats and get them to artists. And basically, making a beat, unless you're like EDM producer, making a beat is like making an unfinished song, in my opinion. So like I was like relying on other people to finish my songs.
Right.
So it's like no, like I'm gonna
Like managing to your own.
yeah, I'm gonna get back to recording because I had stopped recording myself for a long time. I was like, I'm getting back to recording myself. I'm gonna put my music out because I know I can. I'm gonna sell my merch, and like that's kind of I'm gonna keep going until I die, basically.
That's what's up.
It's so good too.
Let's get it.
It does.
Gotta
It
listen
feels
to it.
good. It feels very rewarding to just put your own music out and just
And you
like,
got 500,000 streams on the song right now.
Yeah.
So.
Euphoria,
What?
such a
You
great
know,
song.
Crazy. Go tap in with that.
Yeah,
everybody.
I mean, I would say I got lucky, but I
Nah,
spent
you
a
ain't
lot
get
of
lucky.
time.
No, he bust his ass and he marketed that
You
bad
ain't get
boy.
lucky.
Well
Yeah,
deserved.
I mean, like the song is really good. My wife now, she was
Congrats.
like, yeah, thanks. My wife, she was. I played her that song. She always tells me, she's like, when you played me that song for the first time, I had tears. coming
already
to my
knew.
eyes. She's like, I knew that song was gonna be big.
That song's gonna be big. It hasn't seen the ceiling yet.
No.
Wait until people really hear it. It's a
Nah,
masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I've had people hit me up from across the world like, yo, that song's crazy. Like,
It really
love that
is.
song. So I'm happy about that. But if I was going to give advice in general, and it's kind of a paradox, but my advice is take all advice with like a grain of salt.
Grain of salt.
Facts.
Because
Yes,
like
sir.
one of the reasons I stopped recording myself was because someone saw me at my show and they said, hey man, like you did really good, but your beats are like super, super fire. But like I didn't really like your vocals. I think you need to like focus on making beats, which is sort of good advice, focus on it. But I basically stopped recording for like 4 or 5 years because like
You
I
gotta
was, like,
trust yourself, man,
yeah.
for sure.
So like anybody who's even, and that dude wasn't, I don't even know who he was.
And I feel like everything it's like a coin. It has double sides.
Yeah.
Like,
It's subjective.
It's-
Everybody has an opinion.
and
it's
it
not right or
sharpened
wrong
your
always.
producing skill to
Yeah,
now
it
where you
did.
can like it
It
probably
helps you in the long
shifted
run.
you into the sound that you're
Yeah.
creating now.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean like, and at the same time, I'm like, man, if I was recording all those years, like I'd be super lyrical and all that stuff, and happy with my lyrics because I'm never happy with my lyrics or my tone.
I'm happy with your lyrics.
Man,
Yeah, I fuck
you're
with
a
it.
Shout out
hit
to
machine.
Creative Block ATL. Y'all miss y'all book with them.
Yes, Creative Block.
Yeah.
Partner sponsors.
Yeah, for real.
Absolutely.
For real. I'm just thinking, but yeah, take a grain of salt with everything that you hear because even people that make it, like their situation isn't the same as everybody
Facts.
else's situation. So
And
I
no,
can't
that's
speak on
that's
that.
great advice. Like you never know until you like try it yourself. Like take, like you said, take it in a little bit, apply
Yeah.
it, and if it works, it works.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah,
That's a
course.
little
Yeah.
bit about J
Happy to be
Switay,
here.
guys. Episode 3, locked down. You here with Cass on the mic,
Yeah.
DZ104.
Colgate 770.
J Switay.
and
Yes,
this is
sir.
episode 3.
Tap
For the
in.
right now.
Tap in.
For the culture. Catch
Tap
us
in.
on episode 4. We out.
Cass's
in.
origin.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.